I'm now going to show you what it was a very neat feature on the Xoro box, and it's how if you can use a USB key to actually program this box. Now traditionally you would do this with an RS-232, but having a USB port on it, much better, much faster, much easier to do, okay? So there's two main things we can do here. We can upload or we can download the information, okay? So if you look at this, I'm just actually doing a total free scan on this particular box. So the channel information here is absolutely all over the place. So we would normally aim to have maybe 80 good channels. In this case we have the 80 good channels mixed in with about 322 overall, okay? So instead of manually sorting them as I normally do and going through a manual scan, normally what you would do is you'd simply have a USB stick here, and you would take the information. If you didn't have a channel list, you can simply download one off the tvtrade.ie website onto your USB stick and insert it into this box, and you'll have an option then of recording it. So I'll just show you how it works here. What we'll do here is we'll simply insert the USB stick here. Normally I try to do this before I turn the box on even. So I just simply come along, turn the box on with the USB stick in place. So it'll read, once the box turns on, within about 2 or 3 seconds it'll detect the USB stick there. And then we'll be in position. So it's initializing system for plug-in device. So it's seeing the USB stick and it's seen as an acceptable device, okay? So the next thing I do is I just hit the menu button and I come along here and I flick through and look for the options here. And in this setup menu, which we see here, the symbol, I can see the final option is software update. So that's the one that's of most interest to me. So what I do is I come along and I click OK. And would I like to update by USB or backup to the USB? So what I'll actually do in this particular situation is I'll update by USB. So I click OK, and it by default it calls the file userdb.ssu. Okay, so that's the one it's chosen, and I simply come across and I say OK, and I'd say OK, I'd like to update it. Now see how quick this is. That's it, the entire process. The sorting, the tuning of the channels, all the rest of it. With an RS-232 this would take 5 minutes. Manually to get it in this order it would take us about 15, or it could take 2 to 3 hours. If I come along now and hit OK on the thing, we can see now we have BBC Northern Ireland top of the list. So the 4 BBCs, the 4 ITVs, the Channel 4s all the way down, and there's a total of 76 channels on the box. So I mean, from that perspective anyway, it's quite good. Now the other option here is if I come along and just say I found that there's a new additional channel on this or something I'd like to add on, and I'd added it and I'd like to save it, I can do the reverse here, which is hit the menu button and now come over to sorry, I just went one too far, which is just back here now to software update, and I can come along and I can do backup to USB and user database. I say yes. And that's it. And it simply takes the information off the box and puts it onto the USB. Now in this case, both files are identical, but you can see it's a very smooth operation. And this is one of the reasons that I think Xoro are making a particularly great box, because the whole media player, USB sticks, all the rest of it, from their core business of media players, DVDs, this is something that they're very good at. And the features on this for a very low cost box, they just work extremely good. So at a later point, I'll sort of the free add-ons that are on this that we're going to talk about in a little while in the later videos will be the media player and things like this, and the PVR facilities on it, which also seem to work quite well and are giving us free extras on the Xoro box. But that's it, an overview of how to use a USB key to flash program and flash save the information of a Xoro box.